In illustration number 4, we have to pass the accounting entries after incorporating goods and services tax. Record necessary journal entries assuming CGST 5% and SGST 5% and all transactions are occurred within Delhi. Right. Number 1. Shobit bought goods rupees 1 lakh on credit. What is the journal entry for purchases? The journal entry for purchases being purchases account debit, value being 1 lakh, and of course we have to pay the CGST and SGST. That amount should also be now debited, and any amount you are paying at the time of purchasing could be refunded, so it's your asset, should be now debited in the name of input CGST as well as input SGST. One share for government, central government, another share is for the Delhi government. Okay, 5%, then 5% on this being 5,000 rupees on the sale value. For the 1 lakh, you have to calculate 5%. Input CGST 5,000, input SGST 5,000 rupees. And that too, this is in credit. As the transaction is in credit, we have to write the party's name. If the party's name is missing, then we can name this being creditors account. Is that okay? The value being 1,10,000. Second transaction, he sold them for rupees 1,35,000 in the same state on credit. Okay. Again, he sells in the same state, same Delhi on credit. Sales, the entry being, in general, the party account debit to sales. But of course, we have to adjust for the output tax. While goods going out, you have to pay the tax, which is called output tax. Where this output tax is collected from the customer and you are depositing to the banker, to the government. Right. Second one. Okay. Debtors account debit. As it's a credit sales, party's name is also missing. We have to debit the debtors account to sales. The value being 1,35,000. Though the value being 1,35,000, I collect not only 135, tax on this will also be together with collected. So the two taxes I am going to collect here being CGST and SGST, but I am going to name this being output CGST and output SGST. So output CGST and output SGST. At the rate of 5% on 1,35,000, the value being 6,750. In total, the amount recoverable from debtors being the summation of all this value, 1,48,500. This is over. Third one, he paid for railway transport rupees 8,000. He paid for railway transport. Right. Whatever the payment may be, probably goods purchased or railway services you enjoyed, for that also GST will be applicable. That GST is also be recoverable only. So for the railway transport payment, the entry being transport charges account debit, the value being 8,000 rupees. Of course, I will be collecting what? I have to pay for the IGST also, means CGST also. As this is input services, I can get it refunded. So input CGST should be debited. CGST account debit, and input SGST account should also be debited. 8,000 rupees for the seller, 5% on the 8,000, 400 is for central government, another 400 rupees is for the state government. In total, the amount payable by me is 8,800. I assume this is immediately paid, not in credit. So either bank or cash account can be credited. I'm not sure by check or cash. I'm not sure. Anyhow, we can interchangeably use cash or bank account here. And then fourth one, he bought computer printer. The same logic will be applicable for purchase of the printer also. So fourth one, computer account debit, and the value payable for the computer being only 10,000. But anyhow, I have to add the tax also with this. That tax, any purchases for that any tax is paid refundable. So this is named as input CGST refundable. Okay, 5% on 10,000 being 500 rupees, and again input SGST rupees 500 to what? To what? We assume it is immediately settled to bank or cash. So I name this being bank. This value being 11,000 rupees. This value being 11,000 rupees. And fifth transaction, paid postal charges 2,000 rupees. Fifth. Again, this is also input services. Input services means you are purchasing for rendering output services. So debit the postal charges account debit. Postal charges account debit being 2,000 rupees. For that also you have to pay the CGST. But anyhow, for this the tax paid will be refunded. So input CGST account debit, and input SGST account should also be debited, right? This value will being 5% on the postal charges, which is 100 rupees for the state government and another 100 rupees for the central government. The overall payment in this case being 2,200 rupees. Whatever the goods you purchase nowadays, you will not pay anything. You will not pay only for the purchase value. You will be paying together with the GST, right? So whatever the invoice you have today, even for the purchasing the material, hotel, restaurant bill, whatever the bill, no, immediately there will be CGST and SGST. So you need to understand how to incorporate CGST and SGST while passing the general trade. This is a practical illustration, right? If you are not able to understand the incorporation of goods and services tax, of course, it's of no use in your practical life today. So one of the beautiful illustration. Then finally, if it is a periodical end, we usually adjust the input tax and output tax once in every month end. So here I assume this is the month end comes here. So what is the output tax payable? So the output tax payable in this case being this one, 6,750 is payable to the either CGST or SGST. Okay, CGST or SGST. Okay. From there, input tax credit can be adjusted. What is the input tax credit we have? 5,000. Not only that, another 400. Not only that, another 500. Not only that, again I have paid another 100. I can get all the tax paid on purchases could be accumulated and credited in our electronic credit ledger. That will be adjusted for the output tax payment. So 5,000 plus 400 plus 500 plus 100, 6,000 is now available in electronic credit ledger. So I offset this payment. Balance 750 rupees should be payable from electronic cash ledger, right? So this credit balance is now debited on payment. Output CGST account debit. Output SGST account debit. Output CGST in total 6,750. Output SGST is also usually same value, right? So 6,750. This will be first offset with the input GST you have. Input CGST you have in total being already we have found out separately 6,000. Similarly, input SGST available in your electronic credit ledger being 6,000 can be used here. The ultimate difference will be now settled through electronic cash ledger. Okay. This value being 1,500. Hope so you could now understand completely. Come on, make a note of it.